Hello again, boys and girls. My name is Delmo and I'm the mythology dude. In fact, I'm really a mythology teacher from Romania, land of vampires. I have studied in Transylvania. Yes, indeed, home of the famous and real Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, home of the dragons from the Harry Potter movies and werewolves with a major in myths and folklore, especially those in Eastern Europe. Yep, my accent is quite revealing. I have a YouTube channel in Romanian language with more than 500 videos on mythology and creatures. You have the link in the description below. With this new channel, I want to make some light regarding the ancient history, mythology, stories and folktale from unknown lands like Romania, Serbia or Poland, the land of the Witcher. Because you know that many of the Hollywood movies, TV series and so on are based on mythological creatures and folklore from this area. So I'm thinking we should start with the obvious, the new Netflix series called Rise of the Ottoman Empire, Mehmed vs Vlad. This Turkish docudrama series has 2 seasons so far. The first one started with the fall of Constantinople, but the second is far more interesting. Why? Because it's a retelling and dramatic representation of the battle between the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II and Vlad the Impaler. And it's wrapped around the Wallachian ruler, Vlad Dracula. Vlad, of course, would be remembered to this day thanks to the famous novel written by Bram Stoker. And Wallachia, or Wallachia, is the ancient name of a very important part of Romania nowadays, my birthplace. The season concludes the story of these 2 important historic figures and gives us a nice glimpse into the history of this side of the world. To better understand this concept, Netflix has a couple of shows like this one in Empire Games series, which applies this formula to ancient Greece and Rome, the pharaohs of Egypt, the Aztecs and China as the Great Wall was built. But Rise of the Ottoman Empire continues to push the boundaries. Its hybrid combination of a normal drama series and a historical documentary is very interesting. The combination is certainly unique, and we also have a healthy dose of action for good measure and interviews with real and live historians. I would like to underline this part because it's very important for the authenticity and historical value of this documentary. We have in the main role of Vlad the Impaler a Romanian actor, and a good one, plus Romanian historian experts help develop this series. And this is huge. I would have liked that this series been filmed in Romania, but maybe they will do it the next time. And with that in mind, I would think that Netflix or other big studios will consider Romania as a filming location for this type of mini-series, or Dracula-related one. The first thing that will draw you about this series is the luxurious and well-crafted outfits and costumes. It really shows the high production value of the show. The set design is also detailed and helps transport us to that era. And the battle shots, they are brilliantly executed and our 2 main adversaries face off multiple times. The use of psychological warfare like with the corpse forest was one of the highlights of the season. I also love seeing the commentary on the evolution and development of various weapons, especially cannons in that period. But let's see what is the main story. Was Vlad the Impaler the real Dracula? Was Vlad a vampire, and how this myth was born? Where can you find Dracula's castle, and so much more to be discovered in this video. So it's been years since Mehmed II took over Constantinople and now he eyes the west. However, there's a blockade in the path of his European conquest, Prince of Wallachia, Vlad the Impaler. Vlad and his brother were left at the Ottoman Imperial Palace as guarantees for his undying loyalty to. Finally, after a lot of war horrors and Vlad's torture-fueled nightmare later, the battle comes to an end. While Vlad flees from Târgoviște, the capital city, Mehmed gets Radu coronated and sat on the Wallachian throne as the new prince. 15 years after the night attack at Târgoviște, Vlad is killed and his decapitated head is impaled on a stake. Mehmed II visits the site and finally doses out the flame of frustration he's felt for so long, failing to kill him. Fucking Vlad Cepes. The war itself, it's really the bread and butter of this season, and the pair have some pretty tasty standoffs, leading to a very dramatic final episode that finally puts this issue to bed. Notably, this second season shows a fair amount of military tactics too, and of course the impaling and gory horrors that Vlad inflicts on his enemies. Much like the first season, Rise of Empires Ottoman is an education series that works to flesh out more of the history around this period that some may not be wholly aware of. Also, there are great performances across the board, and Rise of Empires benefits a lot from a slate of talented actors. Although it's a docu-series, and the general rule for the dramatic representations part of the documentaries is that they don't exactly have the best acting demonstration, this season doesn't suffer from this problem. Owing to the 6-episode run, the pacing is really great, and it's a fast-paced course in a significant chapter of history. The production value is off the charts, and the costumes are great and a threat to behold. But, because there always must be a but, of course there's a tendency of many contemporary media to represent real events with acting and dialogue that feels a bit too modern and takes the viewer out of the immersion. It gives rise to a lot of the redundancy, and one might be left wondering if all the aspects of the storytelling here need to repeat the same thing or be there at all. So, in the next episode we will talk about the real Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, his life and journey. Don't forget, I'm Delmo, the mythology teacher. Please subscribe and comment if you like my video. See you next time.